What's going on, guys? My name is Matt. I'm going to help you automate your fitness business. And today I'm going to be going through how to set up automation without losing your swagger. So without losing your personal touch. A lot of coaches that I speak to when they want to introduce automation into their system, they're worried that their clients are going to feel like they're just a number. They're not going to be treated with the kind of personal touch that you would get if you were like an in-person PT, or you're just looking to not make your service feel robotic. So a couple of things that I want to highlight with this is when you think about this scenario, you go to the supermarket or the shop and you get a basket full of groceries and you've got all this stuff that you need. And you head to the self-service checkout, you check out, you pay, and that's become the complete normal now. And if you need some help from someone, there's someone there just in case you have any questions, and there's someone monitoring those systems, the self-service checkouts, to make sure that nothing's going astray and going amiss. And that has become commonplace over the last couple of years, and people really like it because it's convenient, and it was something that we never thought we would even have. Now you have these self-service checkouts everywhere, and it's become the complete norm, and people love it because one, they still get all their groceries, pay an exorbitant price for them, but also they can get the job done and it delivers the same result without having to take more time and use more resources. So it's really good. So there's the kind of counter argument to the automation side of things, not losing your personal touch, is make sure that the system is still accomplishing the goal that the person came in for. And if you can kind of disguise it a little bit and make it feel human, that is also good too. So what I'm going to be going through is a couple of things and how you can kind of set yourself up for success here. I want you to think about when the supermarket analogy, right? So that we're going to talk about the front end of a supermarket, and then we're going to talk about the front end of your business. When I say front end, I mean content, ads, referrals, that kind of thing, any kind of communication people have with you, and then how you can kind of apply it to make it a bit better for you. So your front end is going to be your content, your ads, and your referrals, that kind of thing. And the front end of when you're walking around in a supermarket is, interacting with the shelves, seeing staff members on the floor, asking questions, all that kind of thing. So front end, you want this to remain as human as possible. So the content, the ads, and the communication with referrals or whatever that really is, we're going to exclude that for a second, needs to feel human. So if you're sharing information about yourself on your Instagram, you post daily content, you post stories, you humanize yourself by sharing more than just, fitness content. That's going to be a big part, so that when people engage down here, they aren't just getting robotic answers, So they aren't actually just expecting the same thing. This modern age of content that we're in is astronomically different than what it kind of used to be. Now every other person has a personal brand. They have so much extra personality that goes into all their content and their ads for that matter. You can't just post 4 tips on how to lose weight. It needs to be accompanied with your story, why you're communicating, why you've started this journey, why you help people, what kind of people do you help, all that kind of stuff. You need to humanize your front end. And what that does, it allows you to come in on the back end with systems that are a little bit more automated, and you buy a little bit of forgiveness here. Now, so that's number one, you kind of need to have that. But number two, if we're moving down into this section here, so middle of funnel stuff, so not top of funnel, but middle of funnel, your lead magnets, your funnel and your website and your DMs, this is where you start to use automation. Obviously with your lead magnet, someone's going to fill in their name, their phone number, their email, and you're going to use automation to send it to them, right? So obviously if there's a message coming within, 2 minutes of them filling out their details, they're going to know it's an automated service. But this is something we're used to. You put your details in and you get a quote, or you put your details in and you get your free lead magnet delivered to your inbox, right? So this is acceptable behavior. It's what you do after this and how you approach this that you can humanize yourself within automation. So obviously you send the first email, it has the lead magnet in it. And the second and third communication with the person, this is where you can start to be a little bit more human-like and do some crazy things to not trick your clientele, but make them feel a little bit special. So first and foremost, don't use round numbers for any kind of automation timing. So, this one is fine because it's like 1 minute or whatever. But then if you send an email 60 minutes after, people are going to be like, I know exactly that this is automated. But if you send something like 14 minutes after and you send an SMS that says like, hey, first name, just saw you, just jumped on my computer and saw you downloaded this lead magnet. I've got a few extra tips for that specific one. Would you be open to hearing about them? And, give them the opportunity to reply yes or no. If they don't reply, then that's fine. But it gives you that platform to engage in communication. So that first message is automated. The second one is automated. And then the third is the reply. And that's where a human can jump in and start answering those questions. Now, what that does for people, it says, okay, cool. I was taken care of here. I was taken care of here. And now I'm really being taken care of here. And it's one way that you can introduce automation without being overbearing with your approach. Now, your funnel and website, this is a different kind of domain because people are usually going on your funnel or your website to either apply to work with you or download your lead magnet. So when you are when you're setting up your funnel and website, I would do a combination of two things. I would have heaps of testimonials on here. If you can have like before and after photos, if you can do client interviews, that kind of thing really humanizes you so that when you do have people submit an application with you, again, your 1, 2, and 3 first communication step, that's a weird 3. Your first communication steps are, automated, and then chance for communication here with the client that isn't automated. The next part of that, goes back into lead magnet, so we're going to leave that for now. But the third one here is the DMs and story replies. So if you think about content and you are like humanizing yourself and all that kind of stuff, and if you have like a call to action that's like comment X on my post and I'll send you a DM, right? People know now that this is relatively automated. There are people who don't automate this and do it by hand, which is painstaking if you have a lot of clients. One of my clients, had a post go viral the other day and we were working on some stuff, so she didn't have this enabled and had to send out like 300 DMs by hand, so that really can become cumbersome. But in these DMs and story replies, you should have like a chatbot in here that looks for a certain word, and then when someone engages with that, it sends the lead magnet, so whatever this is, lead magnet, and then it takes over from you. And that prompt should be so long, like your prompt should have like every detail about your service and every detail about you, right? So that when someone is messaging this bot, it feels like they're messaging you. And you want to incorporate delays and you want to incorporate stories in here. You want to tell it stories. You want to train this prompt really well with information about you and feed it previous conversations so that you can go through and have this conversation and have it feel like you. This one is probably the biggest opportunity for things to go wrong as well, because if you have a bot that's like asked like and it gets asked like a fringe case question, it's like, what color is the Pokemon? Like, it's going to be like, I don't know what a human would say here. So that's one thing that you kind of need to be careful of. But it all leads to this. So your communication after someone is engaged with your business. And these these emails, people get grace for like booking emails, so like confirmations or whatever, but any kind of like additional follow-up should feel as human as possible. And the way that you can do that is by simply just talking, like, and when you're writing your emails and your SMSs, like you're following up with a friend. So a really good example of that would be something like this. So I'm going to write this here on the right-hand side. So this is an example of me following up with a booked appointment after a booking confirmation has been sent. So I would say, hey, name, and just saw you booked in for Thursday. Quick question. Then I would say something along the lines of pre-qualifying. So, have you worked with a coach before? Because if you start this conversation early, you get more information. People will be less on the back foot before they actually take that sales call. Then when you have the call in person, or your closer has a call in person, your humans here. So make sure you just treat people with respect, and they will treat you back with respect. And you will have gotten someone from cold audience to this stage without feeling like it's too much of a number. Now, at the end of the day, like sitting here making this video, I think about how much of this do people are actually worried about sounding robotic, and how many people are actually thinking about when they inquire with this, like this whole process, how many people actually care about this being automated or not. My good guess from working with the coaches that I've worked with is that people really don't care. So it's one thing to like use this as an excuse not to set up systems in your business. And it's a kind of like any kind of excuse to doing something new. People will give themselves justification to not do it. But at the end of the day, if you can get this taken care of without you having to touch it, or it's very little input on your behalf, then you can just like pump this as much as you can and just like 10x your inputs here. And this will then 10x your outputs here, right? So you can just increase your closed deals by 10 if you increase this by 10. And then this becomes like a repeatable system. So this video has kind of taken a turn towards me talking about like no one really cares if this is automated or not. However, it can just save you so much time, make you so much money. So it's like your competitor has this. And if you don't have it, then you are doing yourself a disservice. So remain human here. Engage as much as you can here, and take over if you need to. Be superhuman here and share and be vulnerable here. And then when it comes to this, people will feel like they've known you a lifetime here, right? And the people who feel like they've known you a lifetime are so much easier to convert, right? If someone jumps on and says, I remember you did X, Y, Z, they don't even care that the notifications were automated, right? And they probably didn't even think about it. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I know it was a bit messy. If you made it to the end, then I congratulate you, but I will see you guys again soon.